marshmallows are gone. Somebody's stolen one of your cookies and the other one's like half melted. You're like, great. I feel so good about this. And then your fucking cherry Pepsi is flat. And it's like, great. So happy about my choices. Okay, Paddington 2, here we go.
You know what I get when I go to the theater is I get the pretzel bites. Pretzel bites.
With the nacho cheese?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm shocked. You strike me as a corn dog or hot dog kind of guy.
I like to go for a silent movie snack.
Oh, that can't make sound.
Yes.
Got it.
You're so polite.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's the also I'm sorry, I know we're about to start soon, but it's the anniversary almost of us all getting really high and seeing Cats together.
Yes.
The last thing we did since the pandemic.
Did you do that last year too?
That's the last thing we did.
On New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day.
Really?
It was literally the first thing I did.
I think it was mid to late January, and that was the last movie we saw in theaters.
Oh my god.
Which is wild. And the
last movie I saw in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh no!
Wow, that is chaotic. I'm sorry.
I'll never forget that Cats thing because I remember we were all pretty baked.
Oh my god, that
we
family!
We sit down in the theater, and the cat appears in the night sky, and we all just start going.
Yeah.
The family next to us was so mad.
Yeah.
They were so
pissed. Next to us were pissed.
It was an oh no situation. Like, as soon as the cat's face showed up on the moon, like, oh no. What have we done? Like, we knew this was going to be bad. Why are we here?
I definitely left that movie and like felt like I went through like a collective trauma experience with like everybody that I was there with.
Truly.
I was like, I feel like we're bonded in a way that like feels kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. it honestly, the severity of chaos that movie sort of decides to imbue on its audience is, I mean, it's astronomical. You walk out of there a new person.
Yeah.
Should we start? Is that wild?
Yeah.
This is the Lousy Advice Podcast. My name's Eric.
I'm Shelby.
Hi, I'm Jake.
And this week, we have Charlie Varela on the pod to talk about the Wonder Years. What's up, Charlie?
I thought we were talking about cats.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we arguably could just talk about cats and the music of cats. How are you? Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks y'all for having me. I'm doing, pretty fine, all things considering, in the end times such as the world. I feel like this week has been like 9 years.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
Precisely.
like, but, today has been like a whole decade in and of itself. But feeling pretty
Truly.
good.
I mean, with the coup and everything. My goodness.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? We lived through a time where that's a part of history now?
Yeah,
My goodness.
That shit was crazy.
That was what a weird day.
I'm exhausted.
Silly shit. But we're not here to talk about the coup. We're here to talk about the Wonder Years, a fantastic band that a lot of people listen to and also a lot of people don't listen to because that's music, I think, in general.
I feel that was very pointed.
Oh, to you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
why do you feel that way?
Because you didn't listen to my songs?
I listened to them today.
Did you? Did you like them?
Yeah, I did. I did. They're all very good.
Really? Are you lying?
Yeah.
Are you placating me?
I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
Are you sure?
Jake would tell you if he didn't give a fuck about it.
That's
I
true.
would definitely tell you.
Oh, they were long in the tooth?
Yeah, the song.
What does that mean?
As in, they're a little overly long.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I was like almost 4.5 minutes into one, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? When are we going to wrap this up?
But that's the thing. That's story. That's storytelling.
Yeah.
That's narrative. That's structured emotional poetry. So, whoop. Cool. I'm so excited. This is going to be really fun. Jake, do you want to take over? Do you want to take the reins on this?
Yeah, I can.
You want
to
to pilot this plane,
Do
Betty?
you want to fly us into the stratosphere?
Ooh, I'm gonna use that.
And wonder where the years went? because time moves differently in space.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, because how
Okay.
you put a clock on the
Got it.
whatever, and then it's like, whoa, different time. You know, because time's different in different places.
Yes.
Well, time is just a construct of man.
It is.
Well,
It
true.
is. Fuck you, Jake. Yes, it is.
We discussed before you were on the pod, so I'm happy we have this sort of confirmation bias to validate the sort of collective feeling of the room. It's definitely good vibes. Good vibes only. Sorry, no, I'm done. Jake, please
Okay.
make me stop.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Toon Draft,
Okay.
a game in which members of Lousy Advice and guests competitively collaborate to create artist or genre-centric best-of lists. I will be your draft commissioner, Jake, and creating tonight's list will be Charlie, Shelby, and Eric.
That's right.
Wow, there we are.
You did it. Thank you.
So let's go through the Wonder Years history here with everybody, and we always like to start with our guests. So, Charlie, could you give us your Wonder Years history?
Your credentials.
Yeah. I'm ready. Do you want like my personal history with the band or like the band's history?
Oh,
Your
personal history. No, it's not a quiz.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. Not yet.
I for sure. Could you like see the panic rise? I was like, oh shit, they're
No.
gonna like ask me all sorts of deep questions.
No,
Okay.
it's
Cool.
personal history.
Okay. Rock on. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So I got into the Wonder Years when I was about 14 years old. I am from the suburbs, which is a very defining characteristic of the Wonder Years as a band. That's like half of their songs are about being from the suburbs. So a friend of mine named Marley Rose Kless, shout out to Marley, sent me like a mixtape, which it was like 2013. So I don't know why she made me a mixtape, but a mixtape that had the song Melrose Diner by the Wonder Years on it. And I listened to it and was like, oh shit, this band is amazing. And literally just like fell down the deepest rabbit hole listening to the Wonder Years. And then they put out Greatest Generation, which is an incredible album, which I'm sure we will talk lots about. And that album like fundamentally changed my life, both in the way that I like view music and in terms of, it was like the first time that I listened to a band and was like, oh, like I could have written these songs lyrically and all sorts of stuff. And I was a big English nerd. And Dan Campbell's also total English professor vibes. Yeah. So, and I've been into them pretty much ever since. So they were actually the last band that I saw before COVID hit.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
That
them
makes
in San
sense.
Francisco.
That was the Spanish Love Songs free throw pool kids tour?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I went and saw them by myself, drove myself out and went and saw them, and it was incredible. And then, yeah, literally like a week later, everything shut down because that was the 6th of March. So,
Oh,
I
wow.
was supposed to
Yeah.
go to that show.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, because
I
of
was
Spanish
gonna-
Love Songs.
I was going to see them. And then I think we were recording Lousy stuff instead, actually, that weekend.
We were.
Yes, we were, I
Yes,
think.
we were. Wow.
Synergy.
how have the turntables have turned?
Oh, how the turntables have turned. As they tend to do. Classically. I love it. Should I tell my history? Is that crazy?
Crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. So my history with the band is essentially, I moved to San Francisco in 2010, and I remember it was like right when I came out, and so I was like really sad, really quiet. I didn't have a lot of people I was close to, but I mean I was really big into music, and at that time I was getting into like some more hardcore bands, and a friend of mine who was recommending bands to me recommended this band and was like, they're more on the lighter side, they're more pop punk if you like pop punk. I was like, I love pop punk, let's get into it. And I remember listening to the Upsides. He just gave me the Upsides album, and like the first line of that first song, I believe it's the first line of him talking about how like that homophobic bullshit is like shitty, like this cis straight white guy is telling all of these other assumedly cis straight white guys, cut out that homophobic shit, it's not cute, it's not fun anymore, like just stop it. And I remember that, like I was like, wow, that's wild, I never expected that from a band like this. And then from there, like I just listened to them a bunch. I remember like buying myself a ticket and going to see them at Slim's. That was like, I think it was like Into It Over It and Story So Far and Polar Bear Club. It was like this really sick show. And it was right when Suburbia, I've Given You All and Now I'm Nothing came out. And so being like, oh my God. Yeah. So because that's like an Allen Ginsberg concept album largely, I was so like into it and like sad. And I was like, oh my God, I'm just like this queer kid in San Francisco. And like, this is perfect. And then like, I remember this was such a big moment for me. So I remember they closed the set with the Now I'm Nothing. And the last line is, I know we've got miles to go, but I'm putting my shoulder to the wheel. And that's the last line of America by Allen Ginsberg, which is I'm putting my queer shoulder to the wheel, is what he says in his poem. And I remember like climbing over people and like yelling that at, it was just like literally bawling my eyes out, like crowd surfing to like sing this line. It was really important. And I mean, since then, fantastic. Because then Greatest Generation, of course, was so good. Anyways, I like them a lot. They've been not like quietly a little secret, but I just don't really talk about them that much. But they are definitely a band that like really meant a lot to me for a very formative period of my life.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to another queer person about the Wonder Years because, yeah, being a queer kid from the suburbs, like this band was like literally everything that I could have wanted in a band.
Truly.
So, yeah.
And emotional too, like, because I mean, a lot of shit is good, like a lot of really good emo music, but just like, I don't know, the emotional severity of some of the lyrics and like the poeticism of the way some of these songs were written really connected with me, like really deeply. I don't know. They're fucking great. Obsessed. So that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
This is stressful to me.
Why?
So I listened to the Wonder Years for maybe not the first time because Eric has sent me songs, but I listened to their entire discography this past week for the first time ever.
Shout out. Welcome.
Yes, because I wanted to make sure that we could draft this band. Because Eric talks a lot in our everyday life about how much he loves this band. So
they're so good.
I'm new here. What's up? I hope you love my takes.
I cannot wait.
I've never been more concerned to give my opinions on something than I am currently. So it should be a fun ride.
I'm honestly so excited though because it's gonna be like first take, like a first take of this thing, like with no sort of emotional baggage behind it. It's just this is the first impression.
I swear the first playlist that I had for all of the songs that stuck out for me were like, it was like 30 songs, and I was like, okay, now I just have to go through and find 11 of them. And I think I narrowed it down because I listened to my playlist before we convened for session. And
before we got gavelled in.
Yes. So I'm pretty proud of my list.
I'm so excited.
I'm nervous.
Oh, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have such a good time.
Let's do it.
Let's rage.
Okay.
Jake, what's your history with the Wonder Years?
I listened to that one song. You know what? I used to lump them in with, because it was around the same time period. I used to lump them in with, you remember when people were calling themselves pop punk bands, but they were like really just soft metal bands?
Oh, like A Day to Remember and all those?
I just lumped them into that group.
So the thing is they used to play a lot of those shows, but they were always, they were one of those bands that could like, you could probably throw them on a hardcore bill and kids would still be really excited about it. And then you could throw them on like A Day to Remember bill and people would be like, oh, this is still sick. And then you could throw them on an emo bill and they would fit right. Like they kind of towed the line a little bit.
Yeah, I would lump them in with that group, so I kind of was just not at all interested.
Yeah.
You know?
You didn't want to disrespect your surroundings?
I just was like, you know, I've heard that style of shit before, and it's horrible.
I'm concerned, now that you mention that, who's defending pop punk these days?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's defending pop punk
Where's
these
Man
days?
Overboard? Somebody call Man Overboard.
No, that's not necessary.
That was their slogan.
I know. I just don't like that band.
Oh, I thought. Never mind. No, we don't need them. It's okay. Somebody call 4 Years Strong, JK. Don't do it. I'm just kidding. Actually, somebody call him because I've had a crush forever. Wait. Yeah. No, Jake.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get into the rules then. If you're, we're just gonna move past it and get on the rules.
Love. Obsessed.
So I'm gonna be asking some trivia questions, either pertaining to the topic or tangentially related.
Love
to the topic. And the person who gets it first will get to pick the draft position first, second, so on. One person is going to be drafting into positions 11, 10, 6, and 3, which is the lowest placement, but you get a lot of picks, and the coveted but not often used veto override, in which you can cancel out a veto that's played on a choice that is not your own. The second choice is 9, 8, 5, and 2, which is a good amount of choices, right smack dab in the middle of the list. And the third choice are numbers 7, 4, and 1, which is the least amount, but you get the number 1 spot. You get all the pressure, but you get all the glory as well of the number 1 spot. Each player will also be receiving a veto, which they can use to knock a song choice from its current placement on the list, either because you don't think it belongs on the list or believe it belongs higher up. Whatever the case, it can no longer be replayed in that spot, and the drafter must choose another song. You can roll over a veto into your next appearance, but only one. Any rules questions?
No, that makes sense.
None for me.
Okay.
Eloquent.
Is anybody carrying over any vetoes? Shelby, did you deploy
What was the last episode we
week?
did?
Pairs.
I did. I did. I vetoed cum shots.
That's right.
Veto
It was a whole
shots.
thing.
Did you, Jake? You vetoed.
Yeah,
you vetoed one of
I vetoed
hers.
myself.
You vetoed yourself. That's right.
Oh,
and I wasn't
yeah.
playing.
Yeah. Yes.
So I don't. Okay.
And your last appearance was some. I can't even
Green
remember, to
Day.
be honest with you.
Right.
I think I use that.
Green
Let's
Day,
just
okay.
start fresh.
Yes.
New year, new
Everybody's
vetoes.
got
Yeah.
one veto.
Love.
Okay. So these questions are all related to Wonder Years star Fred Savage
Yes.
and his career.
Love.
Fuck.
Why?
So
Not even the show itself. Just Fred Savage.
Just Fred Savage of the Wonder
yes,
Years.
Yes.
I love it.
Fred Savage has mostly moved on from acting at this point and has moved on to directing and producing. Which hit comedy television program has he produced and directed several episodes of? And the hint is that it's starring Charlie Day.
No.
Yes.
Not the one, no, right?
Shelby.
Yes,
It's Always
Shelby?
Sunny in Philadelphia.
Correct.
Thank you.
Is that real? He did?
Yes, that's real life.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
Wow,
I remember,
you really just told me the
rewatching
answer and I just get to
episodes
have
over
it?
again and then
That's
seeing
sick.
directed by Fred Savage on him and being like, is that Fred Savage? And it was.
Wow.
Wow.
Very-
This is
So
going to be
Shelby-
the moment where everyone who listens to this is going to realize I never leave my house and I watch the same 4 movies. But it's fine. It's fine.
My questions are always obtuse and the most tangentially related to the topic possible. So,
I love that word.
Rock and roll.
I
Yes.
did too.
Obtuse. Obtuse.
Shelby, which positions would you like?
So this might be controversial, but I would like the number 1 slot.
Whoa.
Okay,
Yeah.
but here's no. Here's why. I have reason behind this. Because I want the people that love the band to be able to have the bulk of the list. They both have vetoes, so I feel like
Makes
everything's gonna be okay.
I feel
Charlie
like we're
doesn't
in
look
store
like
for a while,
he
number
agrees
one,
with
but
me,
I-
and that's
I'll
fine.
Wait, where'd that gavel go? Does somebody have that gavel?
You should have. You were
I'm-
saying you knew the answer to Jake's question, but you just didn't say your name.
Well, I didn't think that would be it. I guess I should have buzzed in. See, if I were on a game show right now, I'd have lost it all.
It's
Aw,
true.
but
know?
didn't.
But I didn't.
Next question.
Okay.
Fred Savage starred in the hit motion picture and one that I just recently bought on Blu-ray, Little Monsters.
Yes.
In the film, which actor and game show host played the monster under Fred Savage's bed?
Jesus fuck, Jake.
I know. Do I know this? Game show host. Is it some obtuse game show?
No.
It's a real,
No.
real deal, big deal.
He is currently hosting a show on television, a reality TV program, and he was a game show host for most of the 2000s. A
He's
very
a
popular
reality
game
TV show
host, yes.
host.
In fact, you know what? I'll give you even better hint. He's a reality TV show judge.
What fucking show is it? The Masked Singer?
No, it's America's Got Talent.
I don't watch my
That show's still going.
I think so.
I forgot what the question is. There were so many levels to that.
Oh my god, I don't know.
Not that I'm playing.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next question. The answer is Howie Mandel.
Oh my goodness.
Howie
from Deal or
Mandel.
No Deal.
Yeah, Deal
Deal
or
or
No
No
Deal.
Deal.
America's Got Talent. Comedian.
Arguable.
Bald guy.
Whoa.
Neat freak. Okay, so Fred Savage's little brother Ben Savage starred in Boy Meets World.
Yes.
This is my layup question here. What was the name of the teacher / mentor / principal to the kids?
Eric.
Yes, Eric?
Mr. Feeney.
That's correct.
Yes!
Oh my god. Okay, I will say, I watched very little Boy Meets World, and I also don't remember a lot of what happens. I remember the Halloween episode when he gets stabbed with a pencil. That's it.
Yeah, I have never seen an episode of Boy
That
Meets
episode
World.
was
'Cause I was
actually
born
great.
in 1997, so.
Oh
I'm a
yeah,
little
I get
late.
that.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
that tracks.
Yeah, because even for me, I feel like Boy Meets World, I was a little young for it.
Really, I watched it, and I'm younger than you. Like, watched it through and through.
As it was
Yeah, me
airing?
too.
I don't know if that's...
I think it was
You-
reruns,
I don't
though,
know about
no?
that. Maybe.
Wasn't it
It's
reruns?
possible.
It was definitely reruns by the time I was watching it, for sure.
Okay.
What year was...
It was like 1990, I think that was like...
Oh, so
91?
But it went on for a long, long time.
Hold on.
did.
Let's get to the
It
bottom
went-
of
I feel like
this.
I
From
was
kids
watching
to
it
college
live once
age.
they went to college together, when they all decided to go to college together.
Do you remember when they went to Disney
Yeah,
World? That was
wasn't a
fun.
avenue.
Oh shit, they did like a Glee thing where they all went to college together. And
They
they
did.
followed them.
Okay, so it originally aired in 1993, and it lasted 7 seasons, ending in 2000.
Okay. So, yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
caught some of those episodes
Yeah.
live then.
Yeah.
It had a long, long, long thing. Because they started in
Wow.
elementary school, like middle school, and then go
Yeah.
up to college
Yeah.
with the same actors.
I will
Which
say,
is
still
crazy.
love Topanga's name.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
a good name that is.
And my other two questions were, because I want to read my questions. Fred Savage was in The Princess Bride,
Yes.
which also starred Carrie Elways.
Yes.
Which long-running horror franchise did Carrie Elways play Dr. Lawrence Gordon?
American Horror Story.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, the answer is Saw.
Oh, he
He's in the
was in
first
Saw.
movie, and
Of
he's in a bunch
course.
He's in like
He's
4
the
of them.
lead.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Fred Savage starred in the feature-length commercial The Wizard. What video game company was the entire movie essentially an advertisement for?
Nintendo.
Yes, that's
The
correct.
Power Glove.
Yes.
Welcome
Okay,
to our show. It's hell here.
So that's one of the things Eric talks about. So, like because he grew up in Chicago, so he'll talk about like that movie and representation for like what California was. And s-
California.
Yeah. So when he moved here, he's like, "Oh, I don't. That was what?" But that was always what California was. That was the only version of California he had been familiar with, which I
Yeah.
think is fun and
Which,
funny. And I want a Power Glove.
positions-
So
Which positions
sue me.
did you want, Eric?
What are my options?
9, 8, 5, and 2,
whoa.
11, 10, 6, 3.
Sorry, say that.
That was a big sigh.
say that again.
11, 10, 6, 3, 9, 8, 5, 2.
I'm gonna go 9852.
Okay. That's going to leave Charlie with 11, 10, 6, and 3.
We're always so mean to our guests.
I know.
Well, in the same
Me this time.
vibe. Well,
That's a lot of picks, though.
we do have the same. We both have 4 picks, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Rock and roll.
Close my tabs here.
Close your tabs. All of your tab sodas.
Namaste.
Yes.
Namaste.
So,
Quietly
let's
to
get on the
yourself.
list.
Namaste.
We're here on the list. It's going to be the first pick from Charlie at number 11. What is your pick?
My pick for number 11 is You're Not Salinger, Get Over It.
That is a great song.
Yeah.
I love that
I-
song.
Love that song, and it's fun because it doesn't like have an album technically. It's just like this release that they did of a bunch of songs that they recorded, and it's amazing. It's one of the first Wonder Years songs that I heard, and it's great.
Yeah, because that was those. It was like that and like Elegy for Baby Blue, and what is it? Don't Open the Fridge and Holding It Down. Like those songs weren't those
Yeah.
all? They were like post first record, pre second record,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like everything that was recorded between 2005 and 2010. Like just a bunch of stuff.
Wait,
And they put it all out, and it's like super long.
when was their first album?
Their first Upsides was 2010.
Well, because didn't they have that weird, really awful album before that?
Yeah, but technically, this is my like one bit of Wonder Years trivia. Technically, that wasn't the Wonder Years. That was like the band that they like were all in, but it wasn't the full lineup of the present band.
Oh,
and so it was like Dan and then like a couple of other people, but they like didn't have like they had a different drummer and like all that stuff. So it was like their like shitty first album. So it's like not available on any like it's not released under the Wonder Years discog or anything.
Yeah,
but,
which arguably rightfully so. Because it's not great.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah,
it's really bad. Yeah.
Wonder Years, if you're listening, ding that bell.
Sorry, yeah. If you're listening, I'm sure they know, right?
I'm sure they think it's bad, probably too.
Which is why it's not included. Like it's intentionally left off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's like one of those things where like Dan talks a lot about how he'll like go back and listen to stuff and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I like said that or like wrote that because he was like young, you know, like changed, right? Like over time. So
yeah, you're learning and growing constantly. So I'm assuming a lot of that older stuff is pretty cringe. Just on and even not in like a social level, on a personal level, as an artist being like, fuck, that's what a weird time in my emotional life.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but you're not Salinger.
If you're listening. Sorry.
Oh no, you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, Dan, if you're listening and you really love that album, sorry that we don't think it's good.
Yeah.
But
but it's not.
The other albums are way better.
Yeah.
So we'll say that.
So good.
Just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything.
You're Not Salinger, Get Over It is a great song. I also just like the title. So the titles are so emblematic, especially like this or like this collection of songs and then the upsides. So emblematic of like the Panic at the Disco like track title vibes where it's like what are some of the other like Mike Kennedy is a bad friend. On the upsides, it's Everything I Own Fits in This Backpack, New Year's Eve with Carl Weathers. Like it's like sentence names. And also just being like a super emo lit boy. You're Not Salinger, Get Over It is very funny.
Yeah. It's great. And that is another great, like, I'm going to talk shit about shitty dudes that come to shows and are mean to 15-year-olds and like all that. And when I first heard it, I was like, I'm 15. Dudes are shitty to me at shows. Like, I feel seen and held by this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like there's so many elements in this band that it just seems like Dan is cool and like even at that time was just like writing cool shit that necessarily, I don't know, like I feel like most people weren't writing about not being shitty. I don't know, it felt more authentic. It felt authentic. Yeah. Do you know this song?
No, I don't. I don't
It's
know
really
that
good.
I listened to that. Well, I listened to their entire discography, so it's very possible, but
Let me slap it
play
on
a little bit of it for me.
Slap it on the.
Lay it on me. Oh, this was on my very long list before I beefed it down.
Yeah, I love it. It was when they were doing more of the keyboard stuff, or when the keyboard was more pronounced. A la, and I said this earlier, 4 Years Strong, but a la early 4 Years Strong, and a lot of those bands where it was like, let's combine heavy guitar, kind of soft emo cry with some cute synth. Big Warped Tour vibes is what it is.
Yeah. Big Warped Tour vibes.
Yeah. Cool. I'm super happy with this.
Yeah. Okay. Shelby?
I am not using a veto this episode.
Ooh.
Why is that?
Because that's not fair of me. Why would I do that when I just got into this band and it's like how many opinions am I going to have over my next formative years with this band?
I feel so attacked right now. Calm down.
Why do you always feel so attacked? This is just how I talk. Sorry. I had a bad day at work.
Oh, yeah.
Some lady told me that she couldn't, and I'm going to tell this to the pod audience.
Oh, my
Sorry,
gosh.
this has nothing to do with anything. Some old bitch. She was probably 197 years old at least. I called her because I work at a pest control company. So sometimes I call people to tell them when our people are going to go to their houses. And she couldn't understand what I was saying. And I'm talking just like this. I don't have a customer service voice with Eric as my witness. Like I really, for the most part, I don't. So she's like, I can't hear you. Your voice is too high pitched. And then she started mimicking me to my face saying, your voice sounds like this. And it tells me, and multiple times I just said, no, that's just my voice. Like, that's just my voice. And she's like, well, you should lower it. And I'm like, that's just my voice. And she's like, well, I used to talk higher. You should change it.
Oh my
like,
God. Yeah.
So I struck a nerve just now. Sorry.
That is pure chaos. Like, I get just as soon as you said that she mimicked you, I can't like, because there's just like shitty customers and me like, this is what you sound like. Like, okay, you're wanting to fight now.
Jesus Christ himself entered my body and stopped me from committing homicide today.
Fighting words. Yeah, that's
through
too
the
much.
phone. Okay, anyway.
I love it. I love that you're choosing peace.
I have no choice.
You're giving peace a chance today with your no veto. Mm-hmm. We love growth. On the pod. Canonically on the pod, we love to see growth.
I love that.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked to see what your number one choice is as like a very recent listener.
Me too.
That's very
of the
good.
band. That's going to be cool.
It's going to be cool.
Oh.
Unless it's not.
Yeah,
at which
unless
point...
it's super shitty.
at which point I will be videoing, unfortunately. But you know what? Let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Right?
We're at 10.
We're at 10. And that's one of the things is like, stop living in the future or in the past. Live in the now, you know?
Be present.
Be present. Namaste.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're doing yoga now.
Quietly to yourself.
Quietly to yourself. Namaste. Cool. Sorry.
Adrian, if you're listening.
Shout out. Okay, cool.
In the spirit of living in the now, let's move on to the now, which is the number 10 pick from Charlie once again.
All right. This is going to be The Bastards, the Vultures, the Wolves off of The Greatest Generation. Yeah. And I have multiple reasons, but the big one is because it has one of my favorite Wonder Years lines, which is, yeah, I came out swinging with 2 black eyes and a split lip, which big shout out to the song Came Out Swinging off of Suburbia. Yeah. I mean, just like killing it.
Did we? I don't know. Did we talk about that? Callbacks? Or this song?
This song.
I don't know if we talked about this song.
It's on my
list. I was thinking about the
list.
callback thing the other day, and I do have something to say about it when you eventually bring it up.
What do you mean? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, based on our Spanish love songs episode?
thought we were living in the now.
I definitely have something to say.
Oh, you disagree with me?
Yeah, but we'll get there when we get there.
Interesting.
Live in the now.
Well, that's the thing is I don't know we'll ever get there, Jake.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. I love that stuff as just sort of like a long sort of discography narrative to some degree. So like it's in this one when he says that as a callback to the last record. And then when is it? The Highway one, listening to traffic reports one, and then it's a callback to Me Versus the Highway. And I'm just like, it's just so, it's like, it's growth. Like, just like, I know we were making jest of the concept of growth a moment ago, but like truly this idea of like acknowledging a literal piece of something that you've created in this new form and saying, this is how it's grown. This is how it's changed. This is who I am now versus who I was then in a very clear and almost like, I know we use the word canon very fast and loose on this podcast, but almost establishing some kind of canon within their discography and their music and their like general musical narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like The Greatest Generation as like an entire album is one of the reasons why it's so good is it's like the album in and of itself has multiple like callbacks within the album. Like it ends with a song that features parts of the other songs, and like the album itself is so much about like simultaneously so much about growth and also about being like, holy shit, I'm in my 20s, like what have I even done, like what, like I'm stuck in the same shitty town with this, you know, the same job, like I'm not moving anywhere, like what, you know, am I growing at all, like am I just surviving? You know, which, you know, that's hashtag relatable.
Oh, 100%. It's like comparing like talking about how much you've changed and how much things have changed, but then comparing that change to other people's change and being like, oh shit, I did this wrong. Like I made the wrong choice. But I guess this does lead us into what we were going to talk about, Jake. The I just want to sell out my funeral conversation. I don't know if we're going to get into it later, but that being on this record that we're talking about as an idea.
The only thought, because for some reason it crossed my mind the other day, thinking about it, and I was like, I was like, it was kind of unfair to use another band to judge another band's placement on their list. That's all I wanted to say.
So I have thought about this, and I do think you're correct.
That's really all I want to say.
I do think you're right.
He's just
so,
coming here to call you out.
Charlie, I don't know if you
I
listened.
just wanted to call you out.
I don't know if you listened to the Spanish Love Songs episode, but in that episode, we were talking about what is the song on their Brave Faces Everyone one?
It's the title track.
Brave Faces Everyone. So they do at the end of the record very similarly to Greatest Generation, where it's sort of like a anthemic end of musical reprisal of different elements of the record in this really big ending way. And I have thought about this, and it was unfair. And maybe I do sound like an asshole on the episode, to which, if you're listening, I am sorry. And if you're in Spanish Love Songs, I am sorry, because I do love Spanish Love Songs so much. And it was unfair to compare the two. But they do it in their record, and when we talked about it, that with that song, I discredited it being played because I was like, well, it's not like this song, but from the Wonder Years. I was like, I feel like they did it, but they did a worse version of it, which is why I like it less. But I think Jake's right, because in that, we're not talking about this band, we're talking about this band. So like, it is unfair to critique it in that sense and then use that as ammo within it. So yes, I do agree, and I am sorry for that.
I just thought about it the other day, and I was like laughing, and then you brought it up just now, and I was like, oh,
let's talk.
Let me bring up what I thought the other day.
And you know what? Coming back to the resounding theme, that's growth. that right there, that's called growth right there.
Growth.
It's learning. It's learning and growing.
Literally just happened.
Oh my gosh.
Live.
You're so tall.
Can you believe it, huh?
You're so tall.
I am sitting so tall. Can you believe it? Oh my God. I grew like 3 inches today. That's crazy.
Are we going to leave that there?
Oh, 100%. I love that song.
Bastards, Vultures, the Wolves at number 10.
It was on my list.
It was?
Yes.
Wow.
It's so intense.
Oh, yeah.
It's such... I feel like we just talked about a bunch of other stuff. The song is so intense. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, like, I literally feel like every verse has something you can pull from it. And, like, the bridge, I've been burning every bridge that I can fucking find tonight.
Yeah.
Like, the devil's got a rifle on my front porch. Like, shit, man.
I know he came looking for a fight. Yeah, it's just, it's so intense. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love this song. I love this band. I'm so into this band.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
They're like poets.
That
sounded corny, but they are like poets.
But truly, Dan Campbell is like a lit major. He's like obsessed with poetry.
That is why I love Elway so much, because their writer, singer, is also like has
poet.
like a degree in literature.
Love it.
And like all that stuff.
Because that's also
Jake's thumbing down and no one's paying attention.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, this just happens, Charlie. Sorry.
Jake will just get up and go pee in the middle of somebody talking, and he's just like, "Yep, 100%, got it." Down.
Yeah.
No,
he keeps his headset on so he can hear us.
Jake, are you drinking Mad Dog 2020?
No.
What is that? Okay, so when you pulled it out from the fridge in the back, it looked like Fruit Punch Mad Dog.
No.
And I was like, Jake,
I'm not Nicole.
you gotta love yourself.
Nicole is hardcore with her Four Locos, man.
That's wild. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I love her.
me too. What a vibe.
We just got
I was gonna also say, not that, because I feel like I include like, oh, he's a lit major, so like that makes, not to say that like degree has any sort of like accrediting.
You can tell when somebody is passionate about
but
something.
he's so passionate about literature and about poetry that it's truly that pour was so nice. Thank you. It really comes.
That was ASMR.
That was.
I had the moment where I was like, oh my God, that's so loud.
We're just an Applebee's commercial now. That's all this is.
Coca-Cola, if you want to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah. Wait, COVID Cola? What
Are
did
you
just
drinking
say?
Coca-Cola too?
It's. I'm making a mixed drink.
Eric and I are both
Oh.
drinking Coke
Yeah.
currently.
Coke Zero. Needed a little caffeine boost.
Coke full because I hate myself.
Shout out. I was going to have another kombucha, but I've already had one today. And I was like, you know what? Too much.
A lot of probiotics.
It's a lot of probiotics.
One can only be so regular.
One can only be so regular. My body is probiotic. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just overdoing it, it's like, at what point does that become a double negative? Like, it like becomes anti, the opposite. Wait. Okay. Oh no, I can't. I was gonna go into a whole conversation about pre and probiotic, but we don't need to do this.
We need to move.
We need to move on.
Yeah.
We really need to move on. Okay, it's my turn.
Yes.
Oh, so I just have to keep talking. Oh, we love. Okay. My number 9 pick is from the Upsides. It was a song that I thought was very fantastic when I was listening to this record a lot. It is Hostels and Brothels. I think that huge chorus, the I'm still waiting for the map to say home's a week away, is just so like big and cool. And it's just, I don't know. In this record is very much of the pop punk vibe, like vocally, musically. But there's something about the way that he's like, just I feel like he's almost just like crying into mic at certain points, talking about like loss of friendship and like missing out on life because he's on tour. Like, I've been gone so long, I can only call my parents and my friends so many times. At what point do I realize that like I'm missing my life? My life isn't here, my life is there, and I'm missing out on it by doing this thing. But also loving that thing so much and reconciling the two. Right? Oh, so good. I love
that. That's a great pick. I not to bring it back to talking about literature in English, but the Wonder Years is very much a band of themes. Like it's very much, you can track things throughout the entire discography, and like this theme of, which I think is very apparent in the song you picked, is like missing out on stuff. Like missing family, missing friends, missing out on life, feeling like you're super behind, but also being super exhausted because you're touring and all this stuff, and just very much being like, do people even give a shit about me anymore back home? And like, I feel like anyone who's like ever left a town that they come from definitely probably feels that. Like, so yeah, love that. Great pick.
Yeah, it's growth. I mean, yeah. Which, okay. I feel like we can just go into each. I love it because you said like you feel like you're just like missing out, and then that's emblematic of like the whole concept of like year as a ghost. Like, I spent this year existing but not really existing. Like I was somewhere, but I wasn't where I feel like I should be, in this way where it's just like life just passes, and now you're however old he's saying he is in any one of these songs, recognizing like my life is going. And where am I? Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm like, you're in a very successful band, but at the same time, it's like I get the emotional sort of like longing, the sort of yearning for something that you missed out on. Yeah, it's a great song. Do you like that song? Have you heard it?
I have heard it because I've heard every single Wonder Years song that's on Spotify in the past week. It didn't make my list, but I'm really excited to listen to the playlist that you make.
Your phone is listening
and learning.
Well, that's growth. That's called growth. No, we look on her phone as she was talking. The phone was like reading the words, so it was like just listening. I'm like, oh wow, this phone is taking notes.
I'm very excited though, as I was saying, to hear the playlist, because like once you make it, I listened through to these songs so many times that they're honestly kind of blurring together.
Oh, a lot of it is similar, yeah.
Excuse me. But I listened to my playlist before this, and I think mine is right.
I love.
For me.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to hear what is right for you guys.
And honestly, at the end of the day, we love that because everybody's their own unique version of themselves. And knowing that just intrinsically is growth. You know,
you're right.
I'm a super huge music is subjective person.
Yeah.
Like you can ask the people I live with, like anyone I talk to about music, I am always like, if you like it, it's good. Like,
yeah,
you're fine. It's good. You know, especially with a band like this where they are very personal. Like their lyrics are very personal. It's very emotional. Big feelings. Everyone brings stuff to the table.
It's been exhausting listening to this discography, by the way. Emotionally,
it's a lot.
It's fucking a lot. I had to stop myself sometimes and be like, I'm going to take a break.
It wasn't as exhausting as listening to every Blink-182 song.
You know what? Yeah, for different reasons.
For different reasons, yes. 100% for different reasons. For actually the exact opposite reasons, I would argue. The most lyrically unprofound pieces of mediocre music versus these incredibly
Works of art.
poetic,
Literally.
like musical narratives. I love it. I want to see them go on tour together. Make that happen. No, I don't want to see that. That would be
Let's
toxic.
go to Tom.
That would be so toxic.
I mean, we could just show up at Tom DeLonge's house.
Okay, Charlie. This is crazy.
This is top secret.
This is top secret, but
This
we're
will be
saying it
edited out.
anything. Will it? Who knows? Bleep. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
Okay, cool.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Sources say.
We
Sources
could just
say.
bleep this all out like we do sometimes.
Oh, like just a big bleep so people will have no idea what it is. And I'll be like, oh my God, I wonder what the secrets are. Cool.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Let's get back on this list. Sorry. I am sorry, Jake.
Can you just give me number 8, please, buddy?
Yes. Wow. Oh my goodness. Jake, are you mad at me?
No.
You hate me,
How could I
don't
be?
you?
I mean, you shouldn't judge one band by another band's discography.
It's true. And you know what? But I've learned.
It's growth.
I'm a better me today than I ever was.
You're like a beautiful sunflower.
I am. I'm a snack.
Yeah, you are.
Jesus. Okay. Number 8. I went with Passing Through a Screen Door. And here's why. Okay.
Okay. There's some looks.
Here we
There's
go.
Some looks
Here we go.
happening.
Yay.
So
Drama.
I know I think The Greatest Generation is an incredible album. I think that this song is an incredible song. On a personal level, I resonated more with Suburbia. I've given you all and now I'm nothing. So this is by far one of the best songs on the record. It's not my favorite song on the record, and I'll go into which one is later. Ooh. But I just think it's an incredible song for the same reasons that we were discussing about like not feeling that way you are, but then the metaphor of like I've been looking at tears in the screen door, sort of like constantly anxious about an escape plan or thinking about leaving your life, thinking about running away from literally all it is that you encompass, who you were, who you are, who you will be in the near future, and seeing that as a metaphor for just escapism to some degree. I love the song, love what it means. What are your thoughts?
That's interesting. This song is higher on my list.
Yes.
It admittedly is not that much higher.
Okay.
But it is higher. And it's interesting that because I think what what Suburbia was for you is what Greatest Generation was for me.
Yeah.
Like in terms of when it was released, because this album came out when I was a sophomore in high school. So and like everyone's life sucks when they're a sophomore, right? Like that's just like being 15 is like literally one of the worst things on the planet. And this was like the first album, but in particular this song where I was like, oh, like this is an experience I'm like actively having. And I like, especially because like around the time I was like 15, 16, not to get like hashtag personal, but like around the time I was like 15, 16 was like kind of around when like a lot of my like gender related stuff started to like rise its head. But my like home life was really chaotic and like school was really chaotic and just like my life was kind of a mess. So I was like, I can't deal with this right now. But it all like manifested in a whole bunch of other ways. And Screen Door, like I always felt like I was looking through my life through like a door that was closed and like there was another side and I like couldn't see what the other side was. So I think that's why this song is higher. Also because it's got another one of my favorite lines, which is the first thing that I do when I walk in is find a way out for when shit gets bad.
Yeah.
Is that, you know? Yeah. Or like the emptiness I see in my eyes. There's like a lot of it where I was like, whoa, oh man. That's, you know, that's a feeling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it would be higher on my list, but I am glad it's at least in the top 11. I'm not going to veto because I'm saving my veto for a higher position on the list. But
I love.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I totally get it.
it.
I think you're totally right about how that album for you is what Suburbia was for me. Not to say that I dislike, because I think Greatest Generation is incredible, but Suburbia hit me in such a way at such a time that I was like, oh, this is it. Like this for me is what it is. Like this is exactly what it is for me. You know? Yeah. Just intense. I like my soul latched on to that record, and I don't think it'll ever be able to like pull itself off in any way. Despite anything that happens, it'll always be like a part of me. I'm sure.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, and that's definitely what Greatest Generation is for me.
Yeah,
so I love it. I love this.
Do you like this song?
And look at how we've both grown.
I don't know.
We've grown. It's growth. You don't know?
But I'm gonna leave it.
It's so good.
It's a thumbs
oh
up
my
for
god,
me.
I'm so excited.
It's so good.
It's such a
I'm
banger.
really excited to hear all of the songs that we picked together because my brain is mush. But I love this because the thing is that I get to listen to a new band that I otherwise would not have ever probably gotten into. I have a hard time getting into bands that like are not no longer, but like it's just a thing for me.
Well, especially there's a level of like post heyday for a band. It's hard to kind of get it for a lot of people who are like, oh man, that band was so important, and like they've kind of passed what would be considered the heyday for some people, and then getting into it post. Okay, this is seriously, and this is like I'm gonna just dox myself on the pod. This is me with Title Fight.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Title Fight?
I love Title Fight.
So they're one of those bands that was like obviously very good, but I've just had a hard time finding my in with them because there's a level of like, oh, I remember when that was happening and I wasn't a part of it, and I feel like I missed it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's exactly my feelings for Wonder Years because I have many people all around me who love this band. I don't think I've ever heard somebody who doesn't like, who hates this band. Like I've never been in conversation and had someone be like, oh, that band's fucking lame.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. True. I don't know if I've ever met somebody. I mean, because I know early on that vibe wasn't a lot of people's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've growth so much through the last like 7 years. Jake, you love it. You love it. Oh my gosh.
So
yeah,
it's a weird episode for me. I feel really out of my element, but I'm very stoked on it.
I'm happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I love this. I love this for you. It's a great moment.
It's a great moment.
Thanks for sharing it.
Great moment.
Yeah. Okay, we're happy with this. We stand my pick.
Yes.
Love.
Keep it at 8.
We love it.
It's my turn.
Shelby.
Yes.
Hello.
Shelby's
Welcome
first
me to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So, who am I today? I'm so raspy.
I love.
I thought you say I'm so random.
Oh my god, so random.
So random.
Oh yeah, did you see my new shoes? So random.
Rar.
Rar.
Okay.
You-
So this choice for me, and at this point I don't have to prioritize songs that I need to get on a list, so I'm really just vibing. Teenage Parents.
That's a great song.
That song really hit me. I've moved it around of the placement. It initially was a little bit higher up there for me, but this song really struck me just from the get-go, like those heavy drums, like just my kind of fucking song from the beginning. It caught me. So
well,
that's
and
really all I
the
need.
chorus to this is like, all we had were hand-me-downs. It's just like a song about growing up poor.
Yeah.
Which
fun fact about me, before my dad met my now mom, we were poor. Like we lived in a motel. Like so like I don't know, something about that song really, really, really hit me.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, also the lyrics too, there's a level of like when what was it, like it's like a backyard wedding, being too young to recognize what's happening, but always like this is gonna sound so silly, always feeling the vibes, like the resentment from like adults, knowing how they made you feel but not remembering what they said. Yes. What a good pick.
Yay, I'm so glad.
I love that song.
Yeah, I also love that song. I think that's a great pick. That did not make it onto my list, but it was in my honorable mentions. I have like a little box where I put all my honorable mentions. And I very distinctly remember like going to I grew up in a town that was like pretty blue collar, and like all of a sudden then going to college and meeting all these people whose parents went to college or like had master's degrees or like all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm out of my fucking element. And that's something I definitely like still feel now. So this is a great song. One of the other common themes in the Wonder Years discography is like class and class relations, which I could write a whole essay about that. But Yeah, I love it. That's a
If
great,
you do,
great
we'll
choice.
publish
So,
it.
Yeah, we will put it. We'll put it up. I would honestly love that. Yeah, I do love that. That's a reiterative theme. Is just the conversation about class very clearly and distinctly, like recognizing that as a serious part of life.
Yeah, love it.
Cool.
Wow, this
Love.
is new for me.
That's a really good pick. I fucking love that song so much. Oh my god.
I actually listened to this one too, and it was good.
Jake, I'm so excited. Like,
because I remember because the chorus does, or not the chorus, the verse does that thing where they and I love when songs do this where they're doing a chord and then they'll drop a finger down one fret, they'll drop and it'll give this weird like dissonance, like a little bit out of key kind of deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that.
big sad.
Yeah.
Big sad.
Big sad energies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, obsessed.
I love that.
Cool.
yeah.
I love that
Okay.
even in this discography, I stay on brand.
Just still sad. Always.
So let's move on to number 6, which is Charlie's next pick.
Yeah. Okay, so I've had to reorder my my list because this was originally where Screen Door was in number 6.
Ooh.
But I've decided to reshuffle, and I am giving number 6 to Washington Square Park.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's a hit. It's got some amazing lyrics. It's got a really cool I'm nailing shards of hope together to put something over my head. It's got a really kick-ass melody, I think.
Yeah.
I think that it really it's sonically very good, and it's got, I love it when bands shout out to the places that they're from, and so they're talking about Washington Square Park and 6th Street and like all that stuff, and talks about California. It's great. And also, when I saw them in San Francisco this last March, they blew this song out of the water.
Oh.
It was amazing to see live, and people were so into it. So yeah, I think that's coming in at my number 6.
I love that song. Also, just the line, if you get the chance to win, take it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so it's just, and that's that's the end of the chorus. That's the big, because this was still when they were doing a lot of weird, pseudo hardcore call and response type stuff. She said, ba, 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 whatever. But also going to them playing these songs live, when they play old songs, they really touch them up. They've given a beautiful spin on some of these old songs that sound very kind of young energy chaos, but it's oh, these songs grew up. These songs grew up. These songs read a book. You know what I mean?
They experience growth.
At the end of the day, you know that these songs experience growth.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love it. Have you heard this song?
I love a song about California.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
This one did not make my list, but I did like this song
it's
a
a
lot
good song.
when I
I
listened
love this
to
song.
it. I liked that record a lot.
The Upsides?
Yes.
Yes.
I liked that record a
Yeah.
lot.
That was the one that got me in. I love that. It's such a good record. Hell yeah.
It's so good. And how rare is it for a band's first record, first actual their thing to hit that hard?
Yeah.
Man.
Which, I mean, because then it was right after that they were oh, they're a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is real big. And then the next album, which was oh, even big. Yeah, they're a big band. They're a really big band.
I will say
Yeah,
that
once-
of all of the records that I listened to, Greatest Generation is the one that stuck with me, I think, the most.
Ooh.
That really got a lot of me.
Yeah.
But actually, surprising enough, and not a lot of them ended up on my final list. But all together, from start to finish, listening to that, I was so into it the whole, the definition of being so into it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a good band. I'm just thinking.
What a good band.
I want to, okay. Because I know we're just talking about individual songs, but I'm oh, we're going to talk about Greatest Generation. Let me talk about this song and why that. And so obviously we'll get more into it, but what a good pick. I love it.
Yeah. I think that really proves to the strengths of this band is that you could literally do an hour-long podcast about every album.
Oh, yeah.
Piece by
100%. piece by piece, which I mean we could do.
Yeah,
we can do whatever we want.
Anytime. I'm
I
like,
love it.
I stay ready.
Ah.
You could call me up at like 2 a.m. and be like, get on Skype. We're going to talk about the greatest generation. I'll be like, I'm
let's do
fucking
it.
there.
I'm so like
That's
oh
for when we start the Patreon.
yeah.
We do album breakdowns.
I mean
I
we could.
can we?
We can. We can do whatever we want. And you know what? That kind of autonomy, that's growth.
Yes.
That's
Autonomy is growth. Sorry.
Oh my
Sorry
god.
to say
okay.
it.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Facts. Okay, should we scoot on?
Yes.
Yeah. We could scoot all the way to number 5.
Okay. Shout out to me.
Which is your pick, yes.
Love.
Shout out to you.
I love an Eric moment.
I love a
From
me
you.
moment. Oh my gosh, I'm so selfish.
Shout
I love
out to
it.
me from me.
Shout out to me from me. Oh, you know what? It is like a little Valentine's Day card.
Yeah.
To me from me. Okay. She likes me for me and not because... Sorry. Okay, so my number 5 pick is from an album that I did not really get into when it came out. It is Cardinals. I picked Cardinals on a number 5 moment. I think that this song is... Because it's not the first song, but it kind of is the first song. Because the first song's really just like a... It's like that like echoey sort of like angelic chorus. It's like a choir chorus. Yeah. And then it just goes into just the fucking heaviest beat. And then it's just like... It has such elements of just intensity, and then like the pre-chorus where it's like boo boo doo doo doo, and then I'm on again, and then just that chorus is just incredible, and the backing vocals are perfect. I think, and also just that first line, it just the first line of the album being a cardinal crashed into my window, and I think it might die. Just like,
yeah,
like I mean, already a big emo ass band. But then going straight in with like watching this beautiful bird, or the imagery of like a beautiful bird accidentally crashing into a window and watching it die. I'm just like, oh my god, this is wild. What a fantastic song. I like this song a lot.
Yeah. I also love this song. This song did not make it on my list. It is in my honorable mentions though. I love this album. So good. And I love the music video for this song. It's really cool. It's Dan like running through the streets, like holding somebody, which just like that imagery is so intense. All the imagery around this album, in particular, is so gnarly. Because this album like almost, I don't know if you know, but this album like almost ended the band. Like, it was
really?
so hard. Yeah, because it was like the worst writer's block that Dan's ever experienced. Because his his childhood best friend had just passed away, and like. He was like, by the end of it, they were like, fuck it. Like, it was super hard to write. It took a really long time. And now I think they're really proud of it, but it definitely like was a big, big labor. And it's also got a great kind of, I think, speaking of callbacks, it talks about having a war with your bloodstream, which is a really big theme in Greatest Generation.
Yeah.
So this is a good pick. I think I'm comfortable with that.
Are you comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable with that.
So to me, this was also an album that I don't this album does not resonate with me very much. There are a couple songs on it that I'm like, these are amazing, like this being one of them. But as an album, it did not click with me in the same way that the others did. It could be also that I just, the place that I was at the time. But for some reason this one didn't really it didn't hit.
That's a little nerve-wracking for me.
Is it?
I mean,
okay, wait. Oh well.
Is your number one slot's got to be a song off this album then?
Is
it's
it
possible?
It's possible. Okay.
It's possible.
Who's to say?
It's possible.
It's possible. Who's to say? But yeah, I like this song a lot. I think it's great.
Rock and roll.
I really liked that record.
You did?
Yes, I did. I have a few picks from it. Not that song didn't make it, but I have a few picks from that on my list actually, about 3. So, I think it's a great record.
Cool. So we're fine with this here. Cardinals at number 5.
Indeed.
Happy with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll move us to number 4. Shelby.
All right. Well, speaking of this record, because I only have 2 more left. Okay, yeah. I can't put. Okay. Disregard everything I just said. My actual choice is going to be. Oh, I'm stressed. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. The song that's really supposed to be a song for Ernest Hemingway. Off of that same record. I got nothing but my own organic takes, guys, and that's the song that made it. It made it pretty high on my list.
Interesting.
That's interesting because I feel like for a lot of people, when they listen to the Wonder Years for the first time, or like give them a very like like they listen to all of it, there's like always the like 10 songs or so that everyone like remembers and talks about. And I have never heard someone be like, oh, I was super into that song. Not that it's a bad song. It's a good song. But I've never heard someone be like, oh, that really hit me.
My process for making this list was I narrowed it down to like 30 songs and then to 20 songs. And then I went and did like 15 and then tried to narrow it down from there. And just listening to them, like, I think I took about probably a full week. Yeah, probably a full week, like, trying to do this. It's been a process.
Thank you for taking the time.
No, it was very fun.
I know.
It's really weird because I've never done this I've never done this, and I've never had to go through and listen to an entire band's discography. Like, yeah. But I don't know, something about this song just kept making it back to the list, and eventually it started making it higher on the list when I was just sitting there and arranging them. So I don't know, it really stuck with me. I thought it was a great song. And there wasn't really any depth to my choice behind it besides the fact that I just thought it was a great song. Yeah.
I mean, I think this song's great. It's definitely one of the songs on this record that I forgot about. Not in like, but just in the way of like the 3 songs from this record that I was like, oh, these songs hit. It was not one of them. But that's also, I think, with the Wonder Years, my favorite style is more of like the intense, heavy, like, really big with like some of the chaotic verses into like these big sweeping choruses. Yeah. And this song doesn't do that for me.
And that's why I like it.
Yeah, see? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to back up Eric on this one. I think a lot of the stuff that I look for in Wonder Years songs is the like big emotion, big loud noise, like kind of chaotic, like bringing a lot of stuff forward. And this song has, it has really good elements. It's got the cool like dual vocals thing, like it's, that's all great. It's got some good lyrics, but yeah, this I don't even think makes my top 20 like Wonder Years songs.
It's a weird one. I knew that there were going to be some weird ones in there.
Yeah, but I'm still saving my veto because I'm terrified of what you're going to put at number 1. So.
Shelby.
What?
Don't hate me.
What?
I'm going to veto.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to veto.
I mean, look, I'm
it's
not
true.
emotionally attached to this band.
You are taking one for the team, absolutely, by doing this.
Is that song about how big of a piece of shit Ernest Hemingway is, or what?
I don't know.
Not really.
I was just gonna say I don't know either. I don't
because he's fucking a horrible person.
He's terrible.
Yeah. He just he name drops him once and talks about like thinking about him drinking and his shotgun and
Yeah.
Dan Campbell loves a like, I'm gonna kind of reference suicide, but I'm not like gonna explicitly do it. We're just gonna hint at it. We're gonna graze by the subject. So
he loves a tortured artist motif.
Yeah,
so
that's just the absolute vibe.
All right, are you ready for my replacement then?
I'm ready.
It's Local Man Ruins Everything.
Oh, yes. That's a good song.
Oh, I love when a happy ending happens. I feel like this happens so often when I get vetoed that I never get it right the first time, but the second time
I love Local Man Ruins Everything.
Has there been an episode where Shelby hasn't been vetoed?
No.
Well,
there was one I didn't play.
Oh, so technically, yeah. I guess there is an episode where you don't get vetoed.
So this record was actually the one that ended up dominating my entire list. Really, looking back at it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 songs on my list from this record.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Very on board. Very hyped.
Yeah.
We love a suburbia moment.
Yeah. And just being, probably just because I am so from the suburbs, of Elk Grove, California. Like, I'm so from the suburbs around these shitty fucking men that they're talking about in these shitty fucking high schools. Yes. Yeah.
I love it. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
I love that song.
Yeah, I also love that song. That song was really high on my list.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it just plays right into this. I mean, this album. I think this album's perfect. I think this album's incredible. I think start to finish, I think it's perfect. I think there's. I just think it's great.
I think you could be right.
I think I might. We could be right. Okay, I'm good with this.
The plane's taken off.
We're
running out of runway.
We're running. We're running away.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with my number 3 pick, which is remaining in the spot that it was when I first made this list, is Melrose Diner.
Ooh.
That was on my list.
Yeah, because for multiple reasons. Sentimentally, it is the first Wonder Years song I ever heard. So big love that. And I really feel like it encapsulates everything that the band was at that time. And I think it's a perfect example of growth, because you listen to that and like it can very much be read as I'm my like girlfriend is mean to me and I'm writing a shitty song about her.
Yeah.
But then, growth. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It's a great song. That being like the first song for you also, I get that having like a soft spot 100%.
Yeah.
Is that your way of saying you hate his choice?
No, I like Melrose Diner. Would I put it this high? I wouldn't have, but that's my own vibe. Damn, Jake just smoking it up. Wow.
I've been doing that this whole time.
Have you?
Are you mad at me?
No, I just like the vibe that he's just like, I mean, we're in the podcast so you can't see this, but he like leaned back and like let the smoke come out of his mouth like he's
Big Papa.
Well, like almost like he's like a money launderer and he's in his office and there's like people who are coming to see him and it's very stressful and this meeting could be the end of everything, but he's just taking a second for himself. You know what I mean? That's the vibe. That's the vibe being cultivated here today.
Melrose Diner was number 10 on my list.
Melrose Diner was 10?
Mm-hmm.
I like Melrose Diner. It didn't make my list. I know.
Okay. I respect that because I respect you.
Thank you, Charlie. I respect you too, and I appreciate that. It's a great song, and again, Upsides is a fantastic record, but it wasn't one that resonated with me. But I still think it's great, and I'm happy it's here. I'm happy it came to the party.
Yeah.
I'm
happy it showed up.
Yeah. We love a we love it. Okay. Cool. I'm happy with this.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I'm on board.
Yeah.
We vibe.
Love it.
Love.
Does that mean it's
Locked
your
in
last
at 3.
slot?
Oh, it is
It's gonna be
mine.
Eric's last pick, number 2.
Yeah, it's your last one.
Whoa. Okay.
The plane's taken off.
Plane's taken off. Going for it off the bat. First song, Came Out Swinging, is my number 2 pick. I think it is like, oh my God, what a fucking intro.
Yeah.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, cool. What an absolute intro. Was that going to be your number 1? Oh no. Was it? Okay, it's fine. So I love this song. It's just really good. It's really intense. It's just very like, yeah, it's fucking great. Lyrically, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make that like in the way that it's like, if you get the chance to win, take it. I feel like this is another one of those thematic moments of like, despite whatever adversity I'm thrown, I'm gonna at least try. Which fucking gorgeous. And and the fact that it's echoing America by Allen Ginsberg. I mean, just this whole album is great. I love it.
Yeah, I really feel like every time I listen to Came Out Swinging, I'm like, man, what a fucking power move to open an album with this song. Like, literally, like that. I'm really happy with that being number 2.
Cool.
I love this song. And it's, I mean, it just hits. Like, it's just so good. Like, and it's got the I spent this year as a ghost, and I'm not sure where home is anymore. Like, when I heard that for the first time, I was like, oh God, like,
yeah,
oh no. Yeah.
Well, on the concept of growth, also, I spent the winter writing songs about getting better, and if I'm being honest, I'm getting there. Growth. Can we talk about it? Oh, I love it. Oh my God, Goop, sponsor us now.
I'm going to do this because I love you so much, and I have no choice, but I'm going to veto it.
Okay.
Whoa.
I think I know why, though.
You know why.
I know why.
I understand why.
Okay.
Because sometimes you have to veto out of love, Charlie, and you're going to understand it.
Yes. I think I get it. I think I get it. I think I get
and
it.
I think this way that's going to be such a great episode.
Well, in that case, then, if it's vetoed, officially stricken, I'm going for the album closer, And Now I'm Nothing, as number 2. And I know that this might be controversial, but I do think that this has one of the most powerful, I think, And Now I'm Nothing is one of the most, like, the word that hits me the most with this song is yearning, because it kind of starts off soft after an album that's been really powerful and very drivey. It's kind of like this, like, rim shot, very, like, soft into it with these kind of soft lyrics. But then every time they get to the same part, say it's like another verse, it's that version, but more intense and more drivey, to the point where they get to, like, that last huge big outro when he's I had dreams of myself as the Allen Ginsberg of this generation without the talent, madness, or vision. I guess things are looking hopeless. We're all out singing chords in unison and acting as though acting like we've healed. I know we've got miles to go, but I'm putting my shoulder to the wheel. That whole portion, the build, the emotional build of that, and the fact that there's literally a 4-beat silence right when he says the last word, and then it's just echo. There's nothing, and then it's like boo doo doo ba, into this like big heavy 2-step, like this the big crescendo that just then echoes away. Like the song, it's the big final act, boom, the stamp, and then the song just disappears into nothing. You know, in this, I don't know. I just think it's beautiful. I mean, to me, that's my number 1 pick. I think that's the best. I just love that song so much. I love that song. I love it. Oh my God, sue me. I love it. God.
I also love that song. And you know what? Hearing you talk about it made me love it more. Like, it's one of those things where, like, it's so, people have such personal reactions to that song, and like, just, and I mean, this is another, and I feel like I talk about the lyrics a lot, but like, that's definitely how I like relate to the songs mostly. And like the Suburbia Stop Pushing, I know what I'm doing. Like that, you know, it felt often, especially like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting that a band that is fronted by a cis white man and has entirely cis white men in it has so many lyrics and so many ideas that are very applicable for people who don't fall into any of those categories.
Which is like, wild, isn't it?
Yeah,
like you wouldn't expect that.
It's nuts. Yeah, and this is such. I mean, growing up in the suburbs as like a queer kid.
Yeah.
As someone who eventually then, you know, I came out as trans when I graduated college and like moved home back to that same suburban town, like with the same people I had lived around for 21 years. And like feeling this, like you're pushing yourself up against a brick wall most of the time. And like desperately wanting to get out, but not knowing how, because living in the Bay Area is expensive and like all that stuff. And like, feeling like the only way you're going to get out is by the skin of your teeth. And I feel like this song really encapsulates like, but we're just going to fucking go for it. Like,
truly,
what worse happen, you know, like just get in the car, like, and just go.
That last line too, just from the perspective of like the Ginsberg poem itself, that being like, I know we've got miles to go, but I'm putting my queer shoulder to the wheel, as just sort of just like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I am this person, I exist, and no matter the adversity, no matter what happens, I will continue. Like, I mean, arguably until I die, right? Like, I have a long time, and I have a lot of things to do, and so I'm going to put everything that I am. And I mean, at that time too, for somebody like Ginsberg, like I am hated because of who I am as a queer person, right? So I'm going to put that at the forefront and let that guide me into the beautiful things that I hope to accomplish. And so I feel like Dan from the Wonder Years is taking that element, but he's not trying to like, obviously like not queer coding and not like doing anything performative. He's taking the sort of the ethos of what that means outside of any sort of identifier, acknowledging its energy and its strength and being like, I am this, I have this, I want this. I don't know, just to me, like the resonance of the power of what that means is just so cool. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And then also just, I mean, as a queer kid also being at a show like that and like he's not saying that word, but knowing what he's echoing, knowing what point of reference he's using, it's like, this is queer. This is so sick.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's
so
also
wild.
Like, yeah, and like just like feeling seen in like in a scene that isn't always meant for people.
Yeah.
Like, for like isn't meant for people like me, isn't always meant for people like you, or like for women or anything. Like it's very much like, but still having space. And I feel like that's also something that can then be like, that idea can like be extrapolated and applied to being from the suburbs and feeling like if you don't fit in this box, something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, you have to fix it. And I really like what you said about like how the like kind of the way this song ends with being like, I don't care anymore. I'm going to just like do it. And I think you can kind of expand it to also being like, I can't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like this song opens with a lyric about clawing at the frozen ground. Like you are going to like emotionally exhaust yourself, physically exhaust yourself by like trying to force yourself to fit into something that you're not, and you can't because it'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
At the end. And
yeah.
like,
and
I just
the album sort of being a testament to that energy, and to the point where like,
yeah.
What's up, Mateo? the album itself being a testament to that energy and that like, I'm trying and this is me going through that process. And then it's like that line being like, I have to keep going and I can't, like, this is just what's happening. And I think, oh my God, the more I think about it, that like that break of sound, that like those like 4 beats is almost just like, I'm gone. Like whatever's happened, whatever this was, it's over. And now I've literally gone, like I've disappeared. I've moved on. It's over. It's like that silence is like the closing of the book. And then whatever sound is left has been left behind. Like that, as the sound sort of trickles away, all of that like momentous, loud clashing and it was left behind. Like it's gone. He's gone. This story's over, but this is what's left and it'll just disappear. I don't know. Oh my God. I love it. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love this band. I love this song.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyways,
You're welcome.
Thank you. I cried at Dan Campbell at a show screaming these lyrics back at him, and it was really beautiful. Because he did look at me and he did say, I'm putting my shoulder to the wheel, and I did yell, I'm putting my queer shoulder to the wheel, and he acknowledged it, and I was weeping, and he like smiled, and it was really cool. It was really cool. Oh my God, what a good time. And I was there by myself, so I was just like, it was just like, what a freeing experience. That was a great show. Well, that was a great show.
Yeah. So good.
R.I.P. Slams. Like most venues.
Yeah. Well,
but
it's also funny that you had such a moment with the song that ended up as the second song on this list, because the song that was the second song on my list, I had a similar big show moment, which the song that was number 2 for me was The Ocean Grew Hands to Hold Me, off of Sister Cities.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is funny because we've not had anything from Sister Cities on this list. I think because by and large that album doesn't hit the same.
Yes.
For a lot of people, it's a very different album.
Yes.
There's a lot happening. It's still beautiful. There's great lyrics, all that stuff. But it's not. You know, you're not going to put it next to Suburbia and be like, these are on the same level. It's just like,
yeah,
you know, not there. But like Ocean heard hands. The Ocean Grew Hands to Hold Me. Like was a song where I listened to it. It was when I was living in Santa Cruz, and I sat on like a cliffside and I listened to it, and I was like, holy shit, I think in an alternate world I wrote this song. Like it was like the lyrics and like everything. And then when I went and saw them, they did it. And this song is so intense. Like it's got this amazing bridge. That's when I was in shambles, when I was too weak, the ocean grew hands to hold me. And like the entire place was like screaming along. And it was so like everyone was just like I was like in pieces. I was having big gay feelings. Like everyone was just so emotional.
Yeah.
So it was really cool.
It's oh man. The Wonder Years. Those shows are so good. So good. Yes, I love that so much. Okay, cool.
All right. Number one spot.
Number one.
I think.
Yeah. I wonder what it is, Shelby.
I have so much power.
What is it gonna be?
It's Came Out Swinging.
Hell yeah!
How fucking dare you use the song that I
didn't
have at number one? And I feel this makes me feel better because I came into this knowing that I was going to try to get the trivia right to get the number one spot right, because I wanted to have 3 picks and let everybody else have more picks than me.
Yeah.
Then I was like, wow, are they gonna like this?
That was your earnest pick. That was your earnest number
was.
one.
It was the first song I heard by them because you told me to listen to it.
It's such a good song.
We have talked about the song time and time again.
Yeah.
It has come up in conversations multiple times. So I was already familiar with it. So I decided to, when I was jogging the other day, I went on a jog for the first time in like 3 years. Go me.
Growth.
But I put that song on.
I love that.
And I mean, you said it best. It just does. It just hits from the very beginning. How fucking dare they write a song that good?
Well, that's one
right?
That's one of the things. I feel like they've written so many of these. And I mean, obviously, it's not like, why is everybody sleeping on the Wonder Years? Because that's not true. They're obviously like such a huge band.
But you know what I will say is that I discounted them, right? Because I was like, they're just one of those dumb Warped Tour bands that I've never liked.
Yes.
Then you give them a chance. But there's so many people that are like me, especially in the scene that we run through.
Yeah.
That are so quick to discount a band for any sort of reason whatsoever, especially if it's in that realm of Warped Tour pop punk.
Yeah.
Right? So
absolutely.
I just think that there's such a stigma and that I did myself a large disservice by not ever really getting into them.
I mean, there are a lot of those bands that are not the Wonder Years that I would say like, oh yeah, I don't like those bands. So it makes perfect sense.
Like I'm not going to come out in defense of 303, you know?
Oh, yes.
But you will come out in defense of 311.
No, I won't.
Whoa. Okay. Sorry, we love that. That was so bad.
Okay.
Cool.
I didn't set anything on fire.
No, this was a good list.
Yeah, this was in the songs that Eric sent me. And I listened to a couple more beyond that, but this was definitely my favorite out of all the songs for sure.
Isn't it good?
And I was really skeptical because it's number one on their Spotify, and I always am skeptical of that.
Yeah.
Of being like, am I just...
Yeah, like I wonder...
am I just...
It's so deserved.
It also as an album opener, like, so when the first time I saw them was on this tour, and like obviously you're opening the set with this song, like there's no other way, and they did, and it was just so powerful and so intense and so good and emotional and big and like, and lyrically too, just like I came out swinging in the South of it. Oh my God, caked in stale beer and sweat under half-lit fluorescence, and I spent it's just
say every lyric out loud right now.
Yeah, just recite the entire thing.
No, I actually want you to.
No, I don't think I do. I
it
know?
really is a poem. Every song that he writes is a poem.
This is a song where I think I can do.
Yeah.
I can do the entire thing from memory.
Yeah. I guess I can too. Spent
Good
the
thing
whole
it's
year in
number one.
airports and the
that
flood
part.
feels like home. I guess we're never alone. I lost track of the time zones I'd call, but I'm running on empty and the late nights and the long drives start to get to me.
just so tired.
I'm just so tired. It's such a good song. Thank you. This was really great. Okay, I love this.
Yeah,
Obsessed.
That's a very. I also really like that pick. I was nervous about what your number one was going to be. This
I was too, to be honest.
You know,
with you.
for transparency's sake, this was not my number one. My number one was I Just Want to Sell at My Funeral.
That was on my list.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So going into that again, yeah. So do you like Spanish love songs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, with the brave face. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because I love a musical moment. It's just big musical energy.
Yeah.
It's big, like, and again, I'm not comparing the two.
Big reprise.
I'm not comparing the two anymore. Not anymore. I'm not. And so, but just the motif, the idea of taking all of these songs as like mini acts or big like emotional moments and then collectively creating that as one song to just be like, well, if you didn't hear it, this is sort of the, I guess, would it be an elegy for the record?
It's because I think it's structured like a eulogy that you'd hear at a funeral.
Yeah.
And which just like thematically fits with so many of the themes of the album, as well as just like the name of the freaking song.
Yeah.
And like it's just I think it's also one of the best. I would maybe even go on record. Maybe. I think I would go on record to say it is one of the best album closers of all time, of any band ever.
I would also argue that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's so good. Like, it's just so good. It's like, it's so good that I like get mad about it. Like, I'm like, damn. Like,
I also remember listening to this for the first time. It was like my first boyfriend and I had just broken up. I got into my own place and I was in that place by myself, kind of drunk. I think I was like 20, but I had a fake ID and there was a liquor store on Judah that I would walk to because I lived on 19th. Shout out to me. And I got my like pizza and that, and I remember just getting kind of drunk and then just putting it on, putting my phone away, and then just listening to it. And I remember as it closed and they started doing the callbacks, I like started crying because I was like, "There's no way! There's no way! This is insane! Like this is like what a good record!" And if we're talking about discards, which we missed last week, so shout out to me for being a bad host. I'm so sorry, Pears. But Devil in My Bloodstream, okay. The whole build into it, and then when he says, I bet I'd... So, lyrically, some of it I'm not like... The whole, like, I bet I'd never have the guts for war. I'm a little like, okay, calm down. Like, whatever. That's a little... Yeah. Like, okay, we don't... You want to go kill people? Like, that's... Yeah, we don't need all that. But the way he says, I bet I'd be a fucking coward as the song kicks in, and it just... This dichotomous... This is this song, and then it's just this entirely different thing. Show-stopping. Curtains closed.
Yeah,
done.
I mean, literally,
sold it.
Like, that's a total example of like, there's no turning back from this point. Like that, you hear that, and you're like, oh shit, we're in it now. Like we are in it.
We're in it.
Oh,
these are songs.
All right, let's recap this list.
Let's recap the list. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
okay.
I also wanted to say, good list idea. Closing album songs. Last songs on a record.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Number 1, Heartburn.
You know what? No. Because honestly, that would be on my list.
Yeah.
But that's
It would be on my list.
That's another conversation for another time.
How
So
would that
let's
be
recap
very
this?
self-indulgent? I mean, that would be
It
fun.
would be self-indulgent for me to put my own band song on a list.
I mean,
yeah,
I would love it though.
I mean, it's my favorite lightweight song and one of my favorite actual songs just in general. So, anyway.
You're not wrong.
Listen to Lightweight. Wow, you fucking humble bitch. God. Show some goddamn humility. I'm just kidding. I love you, Jake. I just don't get to do this often.
Song. But 11, You're Not Salinger, Get Over It. Number 10, Bastards, the Vultures, the Wolves. Number 9, Hostels and Brothels. Number 8, Passing Through a Screen Door. Number 7, Teenage Parents. Number 6, Washington Square Park. Number 5, Cardinals. Number 4, Local Man Ruins Everything. Number 3, Melrose Diner. Number 2, And Now I'm Nothing. And number 1, came out swinging.
That's a good list. That's a really good list.
That's a good list.
I love it. I'm really happy with that list.
Me too. Shout out to Cul-de-sac as a song.
Oh yeah, so good.
So straight up, that was my number
That's
3.
one of the ones you sent me. Yeah.
I think Cul-de-sac is so good. It's like one. I mean, it's one of the later songs on Greatest Generation, but it also just like brings the vibe right back up to exactly what the Wonder Years is for me. In such an
So today I indulged because I didn't listen to their cover of Losing My Religion until today because I was like, I'm not including this.
Yeah.
But after listening to their discography, I can tell that they are 100% on brand in covering that song.
Yes.
Also,
yeah.
if we're talking discards and covers, their cover of Hey Julie actually really almost made it to my list. It's beautiful, and it brought me to tears. I also just really love that song in Fountains of Wayne, but shout out.
I listened to it after you said it. It's really good. I hadn't heard it before.
It's just such a sweet song in general.
Yeah.
And hearing somebody with that much emotion in their voice singing it is really special. So there
I
we
love
go.
it.
Those are my only discards that I'm going to talk about because I'm not going to talk about my 30 song list.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, a lot of mine, I mean, on the list, I had Cul-de-sac, Coffee Eyes, Woke Up Older, I Don't Like Who I Was Then. I also had...
That was on mine.
Yeah, that was that's the other song from that record that I was like, oh, incredible, so good. I also had You Maybe Want to Be a Saint. I think thematically as a song, that song's beautiful. Just as a song for a dead friend, it's like, oh my god, like will cry. That's insane. It's such a beautiful song. And then Dynamite Shovel was my number 11 because I just think that's like it's such a cool song. Just like I love it. And then I mean, granted, my shit's like every album is like 9 or 10 songs that I'm like, oh, for sure. Like, let me write that down. So, so I feel like going over every one of those would be too much.
Yeah. But honestly, most of the songs that I picked ended up on our list, which is cool. Other than I Don't Like Who I Was Then, which...
That was also on my list.
Was it?
And I am kind of sad I didn't make it because I really liked that song.
It's really good. It's
really
good.
If I can not to fuck this up.
Ugh.
Like, damn. Felt that. Stained Glass Ceilings is another song that I love, which is not one that gets a lot of love, but that I love a song that has a heavy vocalist in it.
Yeah.
And it's got Jason Butler from oh wow, oops, I'm blanking on. Anyway, he's in a band. And
I don't know this person. Let me see.
Yeah, Jason Butler from, is it Let Live, or he's a metal vocalist, or like a metalcore vocalist, whatever. And he's got such a kick-ass part. His feature is amazing. I think that song is really cool. We Could Die Like This was also on my honorable mention, I think. But man, the Wonder Years just makes banger after banger.
They really do. What a band. I mean, the chances of them listening to this are very low, but if you're in the Wonder Years, thank you. You make really good music. It's really such a treat and such a joy. Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Is that it?
We did it, guys.
Is that crazy?
Is that... Okay, hold on, wait. Is that crazy? Did we get there? Did we do this?
We did it.
Like crazy that we've done it?
Oh my god, I think we might have. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's a little crazy.
I just have one final thing to say before we part ways.
Yes.
Lousy Advice is a band.
Yes, we're a band. So we're a podcast and we're a band. So if you're listening to this and you're like, wow, I love this podcast. Why don't they do music? Well, you're in luck because we do. And we do have music.
Song you heard at the beginning of this?
That's us.
Us.
So shout out to us. Tell your friends. Honestly, tell all your friends. Charlie, thank you for being here and spending this time talking to us about this incredible band. I'm so happy we finally got to talk about this band.
Yeah, me too. I remember when we first became friends.
Yeah.
We talked about the Wonder Years. Just so exciting. Thank y'all for having me. And to anyone listening, if you haven't listened to the Wonder Years, or if you have consistently written them off for whatever reason, check them out, and then be good to each other, because that's what the band's about. So
let our list guide you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah, actually. So I am a volunteer and coordinator for 924 Gilman Street, which is a nonprofit music venue in Berkeley, California. We're part of our nonprofit's called the Alternative Music Foundation. And as anyone may have guessed, this is a really tough time for venues. It's especially all ages venues, which Gilman is an all ages alcohol-free venue. We try really hard to be as accessible as possible. And this is a hard time for us because we can't have shows, which is the only way that we make money. And so, if you've got anything in your pocket or anything you want to donate, you can hit up our PayPal, which is donate at 924 Gilman, actually at helpgilman.org, or you can just Google 924 Gilman and go to our donate website. We would love that. And then when shows come back, if you live in Berkeley or the Bay Area, come on out for a show. Volunteer. You can get in free. You can hang out with me. You can make all sorts of ruckus. And, the Wonder Years is very much a band that has managed to maintain a very DIY ethos throughout their entire career. And it's that kind of ethos that Gilman tries to embody. The Wonder Years, if you're listening, you are eligible to play at Gilman. Please come play. I would die. Yeah.
Could you imagine if they played Gilman?
Oh my God, it's a dream of mine. It's whew.
How incredible would that be?
Dreams can come true.
Dreams can come true. Oh, that would be such a good show. I know, Lucy, that would be great. Oh, obsessed.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this was awesome. Charlie, again, thank you so much. This has been
very fun. Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm just gonna go listen to them now. This has been the Lousy Advice Podcast. Thank you. Was that it? What do we need to?
Thank you.
Say anything?
And good night.
Jake, do you have any last words? I feel like you were present, but I feel like
I'm present. I'm growing.
You're growing. Thank you. That's the general theme.
I'm just, I was just listening. I was vibing.
Yeah.
I was happy.
He's too, you know what?
Open
Stick
ears,
around
open
for
heart.
next week, because next week is when Jake and I are gonna fucking fight.
We're gonna fight again.
Oh yeah, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna be fun. I'm so excited. Yes. Okay, cool. It's gonna be great. Anyways, this is the Lousy Advice Podcast. We love you. We love our fans. Shout out to our fans. Oh, what fans? Anyways, bye. I'm gonna stop the podcast.